The complainer-in-chief is at it again. Despite gloating about getting, quote, major things done, Joe Biden continues bellyaching about how the media covers his disastrous presidency. This in spite of the fact that reporters sugarcoat every one of his crises so much it's like they're Willy Wonka. But that's not enough for Biden.
There's a lot of major things we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it. Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news. Mm-hmm. So instead of asking a question, anyway, it just everything gets sensationalized in ways but I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it.
Even Democrats are getting fed up with the president's inadequacies in office. One liberal strategist not holding back with advice to Biden, telling the Hill, quote, "It's really simple. Be the blanking president." Then it says discussion.
But when you talk dirty, that.
I did. All right. What do you think of the fact, Greg, that he thinks that Jimmy Kimmel not just understands, but overstands?
Wasn't that clever?
Oh, that was so smart.
I bet he's going to use that for like a month. And then he'll just trail off into some weird cloud of confusion. He has no right to complain. The media doesn't want to be critical of Joe the way they wanted to be critical of Trump. It's just that Joe was so unfathomably incompetent, they have no choice. It's like they had to be dragged to the table to eat their vegetables. Do you imagine if Joe had, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, if Joe had Trump's media treatment, he wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks. They probably would have impeached him 4 to 5 times. You could have been impeached over Afghanistan if that was Trump, impeached over baby formula if that was Trump, impeached over Hunter Biden if that was Hunter Trump, impeached over the border crisis. They would have found an impeachment for every single screw up. And then they would have moved on to Kamala if she were Mike Pence.
All right, Geraldo, the president's numbers are lower than they've ever been for the second time. So why does it think that he's done so many great things that are being underexplained?
Well, he's actually less popular than Trump was at this stage in the presidency. And I think that's the first time that has happened. I understand his frustration, though, Gene.
But what has he done?
I think that when you look at the economy, and I understand gas prices, I go back to it because inflation is such a cancer. Inflation is like if you had a beautiful body, a bodybuilder, and you had cancer. That's what inflation is. So that's the economy, and we have inflation, and it's eating away at everything. But he's trying to communicate. He's frustrated.
What is he
because
communicating is the
everybody
question.
used to like him until he got this job. Now nobody likes him. So I understand his frustration.
Okay. So go ahead, hit it, Jesse.
Geraldo just made the most ridiculous analogy, and this is coming from someone
About
that
the
makes
weightlifter?
ridiculous analogies. You have a bodybuilder with a perfect physique who has cancer, and Joe Biden is calling the bodybuilder healthy. That's what the American people don't like. If you have cancer, you're not healthy. So stop trying to say that. Liberals fail, Judge, and then they don't blame their performance or their policies. They blame poor communications. But it's not their inability to communicate. It's the media's job to communicate how great liberals are in a much better way. So they end up fighting with the media, and the media doesn't want that. The media wants to be on offense fighting against Republicans, but now they're on defense against the Biden White House. Meanwhile, the Biden White House is fighting amongst themselves when they should just be solving problems. All we want are problem solvers, and that's what Joe and the White House don't understand.
I think my analogy was brilliant.
All right, Dana. Dana, the truth is that, Biden may complain about the media. He may complain about their not letting him out of the White House. He just can't communicate, or is it that he's got nothing to communicate?
Well, I remember this one line from 43's book, Decision Points. It was, self-pity is a pitiful characteristic in a leader. And, being president is a decision-making experience. Kimmel last night said, wow, you have the worst job in the world. No, that's the best job in the world. You wanted that job. You asked a country to vote for you so that you could be the decision maker. I think one of their big problems is that they will not be willing to admit that the American Rescue Plan was too big, and it fueled inflation. And then they added the infrastructure bill at another $1 trillion, and then they wanted to do more. And now, because they won't admit that, the only thing that they can do is say, well, we have a communications problem. Do you know what the easiest job in Washington? A Democratic communications staffer. The media writes the stories you want to write. They kill the stories you want them to kill. They make sure that they show up to the events that you want to show up at, and they will be willing to attack your opponents and say things to them without even having any evidence, like Crossfire Hurricane, if you look at that. And that's the easiest job, and it gets the Democrats in trouble. They need to stop relying on the media. They need to actually think about what they could do to earn good media. It shouldn't be given to you. You have to earn it.
Is that what you mean by earned media?
That's got it.
But you know what? When there's a sense of entitlement, I don't think they ever go back to trying to earn it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just noticed there's a typo. That they spelled wiener wrong.
Greg, you're so childish.
Squatters' rights going to a whole new level. An outrageous story up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.